Multi-digit multiplication using number chips. This is a digital lesson, and this one is basketball themed. So it's a lot of fun for the students. They can move these numbers around their screen in order to solve their multiplication. So the lesson starts with showing students how to line up the numbers. They're going to line them up in the ones place, same way they would if they were multiplying or subtracting or adding. And then it shows them what to do if they're multiplying a 3-digit by a 1-digit number. They're going to multiply from right to left, so 3 times 3, and then 3 times 2, and then 3 times 5. And it shows them how to do that on the next slide. So 3 times 3, we're going to place the answer here, 9. And then 3 times 2, and this is actually 20, so our answer of 6 is going to go in the tens place. And then 3 times 500, so 3 times 5 is 15, and it'll go here. Now the next slide, students are going to start, they're going to move the number chips into place in order to solve the multiplication. So we're going to start out with some easy problems and move to more difficult, longer problems. You'll notice that every problem has a yellow heart with a letter inside. They're going to use this letter on the very last slide to solve a basketball riddle. So they're going to match their answer with a letter. So here they're going to move the number chips by just clicking and holding on the edge. So here we're going to go 3 times 2 is 6. Click and hold on the edge, and then they can move it where they like. 3 times 1 and 3 times 3. And every slide has every number the students need. So if they get toward the end of a problem and the numbers aren't working, they know they've made an error somewhere and they need to go back and check. And the other self-checking part of this is if they get the answers correct, they will correctly solve the riddle at the end. So here they have a couple more 3-digit by 1-digit. And then they're shown what to do if they have to carry a number. So here, again, from right to left, 4 times 7 is 28. We're going to leave the 8 here. We're going to carry the 2 to the next column to the left above our 4. Then we multiply 4 times 4. We get 16. Add 2. That gives us 18. Again, we're going to keep the 8. The 1 is going to go to the next column to the left above the 6. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So we get our answer of 2,588. Now the next slide has some small number chips, and these are the ones they're going to use to carry each number. So here we have a 4-digit by a 1-digit. So from right to left, 5 times 3, they're going to move the 5 for 15. They're going to carry the 1. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 is 41. So we're going to keep the 1, carry the 4. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. Keep the 4, carry a 1. And then 6 times 5 is 30, plus 1 is 31. So if they do this correctly, they'll use every single number. And they get a little bit more practice doing this. Then they're shown what to do when they multiply a 3-digit by a 2-digit number. So they've actually got two multiplications, 312 times 3 and 312 times 20. And because they're multiplying by 20, they're going to start their row here with a 0 before they start multiplying. And they're going to get a few to practice. They move up to 4-digit by 2-digit. Then we get to 4-digit by 3-digit. Now they've got one more row, so they've got 3 multiplication problems. 3,144 times 6 will be in this top row. 3,144 times 7, which is actually 70. So this row is going to start with a 0. And then 3,144 times 200, which means we have to start this row with 2 zeros. And here the zeros are already here for this first problem. And then they're going to do one on their own. Now, when they get down to the last slide, here are all the answers they should have gotten on the previous slides. So they're going to go back through the previous slides, look for these answers, and then type in the letter that's in the yellow heart. If they've done these correctly, they will solve the riddle. So that is multi-digit multiplication. basketball themed.